baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you riding and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Hello, hello, and welcome. I hope you're doing fine, and we're back after, well, a little bit less than a month. The last live stream before the summer was on, during the summer was on 25th of July. G. Albert, nice to see you, welcome. That's right, it's 9 p.m. here. What's your local time? Are you Eastern Standard, like David Hunt? Let me know in chat. Walk on. I've been walking on during the summer. Also, please let me know if everything is fine with the audio, because I've rehooked everything that I'm using. Ohio, right. I have a very good friend in Cincinnati. Sometimes he's in the chat here, watching. So, a little bit about the schedule today. I'm gonna be playing the welcome song as usual, a couple of blues backups, and then we'll talk about today's theme, which is this with life on the road. I got reminded of the whole thing with touring while I was playing quite a lot this summer, and I also talk to people a lot when it comes to, when you meet them on your gigs in different surroundings, in different circumstances, and you don't kind of think the same way that you do maybe while you're at home. So it's like a change in environment, and let's see what's happening. Norwegian Attack, nice to see you, Geir. All right. I thought of leading into the whole thing today by playing a song "Walk On" by Sonny, Terry, and Brownie McGhee. This song from the 50s, I guess. It says, "I'm gonna walk on, I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home." Walk on, walk on, walk on. I walk on, just walk on, walk on. Everybody walk on, just walk on. I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home. When your minds get worried, when your shoes get thin, you don't know where you're going, but you do know where you've been. Just walk on, walk on, walk on. I walk on. I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home. Now the world is too high and our ways are too long. No need us to be together if we can't get along. Just walk on, just walk on, and I walk on. I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home. Just walk on, walk on, walk on, walk on, and walk on. I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home. I'm gonna keep on walking till I find my way back home. Well, you see, it's been a long break, so I forgot to change into 3 camera angles. You can see my guitar and what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'll keep it this way for the rest of the playing, I promise. Yeah, I guess that the intro music is a bit loud, but I kind of need to find a way to tame the audio, maybe just to lower the volume, but it's out of my reach right now. So I'll think about it till next time. Thank you for pointing that out, Albert. That's great. Yeah, I'll do that. Hello, Patrick. Welcome. Right. So we're going to do the intro guitar back up to this one. And we're going to do the slow blues in E. So basically the same thing I've played now, but slower, so you can practice to it. So let's go. Right. The explanation of these licks that I just played is available on other live streams. If you just go back to any of them, I think I've explained it at least like 10 times. So we're going to save some time in the future live streams. So just please go back, and it's timestamped so you know exactly where the backup is and the explanation of this slow blues in E backup. So we're going on to the next backup. Which is also going to be a slow blues, but now we're going to be in G, and that's going to be open G for me, and you can play just in standard tuning in G, or you can also put the capo on the 3rd fret and then play the position of E. This is going to be in a style of Muddy Waters 40 Days and 40 Nights blues. And the whole pattern goes like this. Or with a slide. Right, so here we go, a couple of rounds. 2, 3. So the gimmick in this type of backup was that the bass is basically not the shuffle blues bass, not even when we're playing very slowly. It's this bass goes like think like country music, just slower, right? So the trick here with this backup is to kind of coordinate the fingers of the right hand, of the picking hand, to be able to play this. Then the bass, and then change. So here in the second, so this is a C bass in the fourth chord, right? So we're just playing C. At the same time while we're doing this. And then back. And so on. This is a kind of, technical thing, so of course I needed to practice this, but I really played it very, very slowly, and I've been around so many jam sessions where I really had the time to kind of practice in the background while everybody else was soloing. I was kind of trying to find my own ways around the backups and all that, so I kind of nailed it. And I'll talk about these jam sessions a little bit later when I'm going to be talking about the summer gigs and the things that I've been doing and those blues jam sessions during the Blues Week in the UK. Hi, Natalia. Yes, I beat it up. I guess I was lucky, and I managed to deal with COVID within like 10, 11 days. So I'm fine again. I feel a little bit in the throat, but it's okay. It's much better than a lot of people that I know that have been caught by COVID. So let's see now. That's right. So I think we're going to be starting off with a theme for today when it comes to what I've been doing on the road this summer, which was way much more than the last year and the year before when the pandemic hit in 2020, of course. So the thing with the theme today, why I wanted to talk about that and not just play or show some more licks and all that, because we have the rest of the year for that, so it's no big deal. But I'm still under these impressions that I've experienced during the summer gigs. So I'm going to tell you just shortly about what I did. So I did a couple of gigs in churches, and that was great because in churches I could experiment with some gospel stuff, early country blues, and especially stuff by, let's say, Blind Willie McTell. And his song is going to be the lick of the week today. Fantastic melody on slide. I'm sure you're going to love it. It's going to be great. But right after this. So after that, I had a great gig within a, I don't know how it's called in the rest of the world, but in Sweden, let's say, if there's a big house where you have lots of apartments and all of those are owned by people so they're not paying rent for it, but they own the apartments. That's called a tenant association. So sometimes they have nice gardens outside, and sometimes they arrange some live gigs. So I played on one of those, which is actually held by a quite well-known actor from these parts. And actually, he's from former Yugoslavia as well. So we had this friendly connection as well. But it was a job. I did it. I played for people that was a really mixed audience, like people between like 15 and 85. And during those gigs, it's so cool when spontaneous jam sessions come, because somebody in the audience is also a musician and they live nearby and say, hey, can I grab my fiddle and maybe jam with you? That's perfect. That's great, because that's not going to happen on a festival with like people in the audience and just coming up to play with you. Okay, sometimes it did happen, but it was cool. So that gig was amazing because that guy who played with me, Anders Forstin from Sweden. He's a well-known fiddle player. He plays both classical and jazz and apparently some blues and country. So we did some hillbilly stuff with him. That was really cool. And after that, there was this Almo Blues Festival, right? It was there was also an exhibition about Sven Zetterberg, who was one of the most significant Scandinavian blues players, a fantastic singer and guitar player, and my dear friend for many years. So there was a nice exhibition about his life and all achievements within blues. And he left us too early. He was only 64. That was 5 years ago. So, but the rest of the stuff in Almo is also something that didn't happen so often, because both of my appearances during the festival were to play in the streets. So the first gig was within a pedestrian zone. So it was quite cozy, it was small, and people were standing all around me. The closest in the audience were about a meter away from me. So that's like 2 feet away. And they were really, really standing close. And that contact with the audience was something amazing, because when you play on the stage, there has to be at least several meters of a distance. And there's this psychological barrier as well when you are on the stage and they're in front of you. The same goes for the audience. When you sit in a chair, you paid your ticket, and then you just looking up at someone on stage. There's this little kind of distance in between when it comes to, oh, here's a performer, he's going to perform for us. In the street, it was like, well, one of us just got out there, and there was no stage. There was just a microphone stand on the ground and a little PA system, and I just played. So that reminded me of my busking years when I was just playing in the streets. And at the same time, it was such a great and welcoming atmosphere that I felt. And everybody was eager to listen to some live music, because they were waiting for this festival since 2020. So they skipped the 2021, and then the 30th Almo Blues Festival occurred this year. So everybody was kind of reacting even more. The feeling was even cozier than I was expecting it to be. So it was just fantastic. And what happened there was that sometimes you kind of let go of this professionalism that you have when it comes to the songs that you perform. Sometimes people in the audience have been there for years, and they've heard me play for like 10, 12, 15 years maybe, because my first gig on this festival was in 1997. And one of the people in the audience just came, man, I remember when you played with Sam Mitchell in 97. That was at this restaurant just around the corner. I said, yeah, that's right. So, and those people remember you for maybe a song you played, and all of a sudden they ask you to play it again. And I haven't played that for like ages. Like, oh God, okay, let's see what I can do. And in those situations, you really let go. And even if I didn't really practice on that song for a very long time, I try to do the best I can. And of course, I made some mistakes and all that, but I didn't really care. Neither did they. It was such a welcoming atmosphere. At the same time, when I was doing a break and just talking to people, they asked me a lot about this. Well, how is it now? If you're on the road, how much are you playing? Can you make a living? And the last live stream I had before these tours was about how to get paid on gigs, which has become even more difficult now after the pandemic, and not the whole business is rolling as it used to before. A lot of clubs maybe book a larger acts and bigger bands, some acts where they know that they can make some money on, and they don't book so much local acts or solo artists. And I'm in that kind of part of the music scene where I just play solo. If I play with the band, that's a whole other story. So I'm this live stream is about me solo, so I'm talking from my experiences about that. And the cool thing was that somebody asked me, well, do you do this for a living? And that was a question that I would have answered, yeah, sure, some 16 years ago, because I used to be a freelancing musician for 25 years, and I was touring. I was only playing. I did some teaching as well, but it was maybe kind of 5-10% out of the whole musical career that I did. The rest were gigs, accompanying other musicians, studio work, and all that. And I have a little story about that part as well. And then when I got me a real proper job, as people will call it, like a 9-to-5 job, which is actually not that. I'm actually working for a non-profit organization here in Sweden, which is an educational organization. So I'm running their music division. So I'm working basically with the same things that I would be teaching in my own workshops if I would be doing them. At the same time, there's this a little bit of, I don't want to call it that, musicians are selfish. Please don't get me wrong here. But it's like, if I'm playing a gig, I'm playing a gig for like between 20 and 220 people, sometimes more. On bigger festivals, it's larger crowds and all that. But I'm only playing and maybe affecting positively those people. And I always wanted to do a bit more, to go a little bit deeper within the music scene, within the music business, just to help with the sustainable part of all that. How can you play and be a musician and be sustainable as a person, as a human being? How can you help others? How can you share your knowledge so that it's not only limited to those who hear you play live? The times when you could sell physical records and CDs, maybe bands, maybe more known acts and all that. But when we're talking about gigging musicians, solo acts, smaller acts like me, people are not buying CDs anymore. It's just the way it is. And Germany, okay, it's a good market for still, you can sell some CDs over there. But Sweden, quite difficult. I've seen many of my musician colleagues having their CDs in front of them while they were playing, and they maybe sold 1 or 2 over the whole festival. So it's like, I don't know, maybe somebody sold more that I didn't see, but that's how it was. But the thing is, with this kind of work for the nonprofit, I work with let's say acts within many different styles, and helping them maybe be more successful in the music business around Scandinavia, and doing workshops with them, making opportunities for them to appear on festivals, play club gigs, play as opening acts, develop their musical skills, social skills, and everything else. It's a bit deeper, because you don't only affect those musicians who you help, you also affect their families, their friends, and whoever they know. If they feel good about themselves and doing this with music and all that, they're going to affect other people in a very positive way. So that impact attracted me very much to not only do the gigging. So I kind of slowly converted from, in the first couple of years, I had just as many gigs as I had before, and then I had this job for like 8 hours a day. And it wasn't sustainable in the long run, of course, but I didn't ever feel that I've been deprived something by not gigging that much. What I could do, though, was to skip very small kind of micro gigs that were only for the bread and butter, so to say. They were only for making money by playing, and then, kind of veni vidi vici, as the Romans said, just to collect the money, do your job, and that was it. At places where maybe that there wasn't really my audience. You cannot always play in blues, jazz, or country clubs there are just average places like restaurants, other venues where they have live music, and all of a sudden you come there because an agent or somebody booked you, or you yourself just booked there, and then you expect to see a welcoming audience, but they just want to hear some covers and don't really care about what I'm doing. So as a gigging musicians, when you only do that, you are also forced to do those gigs that are not really, really great gigs. Maybe it's a commodity, a thing of commodity that I feel comfortable with, like, okay, this is my steady job, I do these things, and then I can play on better, at better venues, better or more suitable venues for my music style, what I'm doing. I can choose between like 2 or 3 gigs that are in front of me, like, okay, I'm not going to take this because it's not really taking me anywhere. And that's a kind of a luxury at the same time. One other thing, another aspect of should you do music for living, of course, is that when you have a tour, let's say of maybe 20 gigs in a row, and even if you're not playing every night, a part of what you're doing becomes such a big routine that you kind of just do it automatically. You don't even think sometimes what you're playing. Now, don't get me wrong here either, because don't tell me, well, that's exactly what John Hammond did throughout his whole career. That's exactly what Tom Emanuel is doing when he plays, because he plays mostly his most well-known songs and all that. But it's also that those musicians on that level always meet very welcoming and positive audiences. When you do your stuff and you're not that big of an artist, I'm not saying not that good or whatever. I don't like to classify musicians in, level 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's like stages of musical knowledge or whatever. But it's also that part that bugged me for quite a long time, because I've had some gigs that I knew that I had to take because they paid money, but I knew that I wasn't gonna really feel well because of the audience that's not expecting somebody who's playing blues or country or hillbilly, whatever this, the roots music that I'm playing. So that's something that I was thinking about a lot, and actually talking with people who I met during this festival in Åmål, because it was a very relaxed atmosphere. People are very warm, and they just wanted to know, and so like, well, if they would, open up all the places now, would you go back to touring and just play everywhere you can? Actually, I'm not so sure about that. Not in my case, anyway. But it was great. So the street gigs were great. One was on this pedestrian zone, and the other was outside the library in Åmål, and that was a gig just nearby the quite heavy trafficked road. So I didn't have that kind of silence and attention from the people from all around the place. But those people who sat in front of me and were listening, they were really like chilling, and whatever I wanted to play, it was like cool, no problem, right? And that's where I also did something that I don't usually do, and that's that I just improvised to do some songs that I don't usually play that way. And just said, yeah, okay, let's try it. And I even asked them, do you want to hear this? I haven't practiced. I don't really know what I'm going to play, but is it okay if I take it now? Yeah, sure, no problem. And I actually would have never done that if I was standing on the stage and had that kind of, real performance feeling that when you're doing that, which actually this was really, really cool. Yeah. Condo, that's right, Gilbert. Thank you. Oh yeah. Why can't you play something everybody can sing along or something? Can you play some sing-alongs? That's okay. And again, I don't have anything against people who do covers. I have some great friends and fantastic musicians who just love that entertaining part of being a performer, being a musician. They love to play and see people smiling and recognizing the songs and this feeling of, wow, let's do this together. Let's sing. Everybody in the room, let's just do it. Yeah, fine. But I also get that when I play on the real blues festivals, and sometimes you play some more known blues songs like "I'm Ready." I hope you're ready for me, right? Everybody knows that song, so it happened many times that as well. Yeah, Patrick is relating to situation in Sweden where it's really, I mean, there are some songs that are expected to be heard at live venues, especially when it comes to restaurants, and city festivals and all that. But yeah, again, nothing against whoever wants to do that. That's perfect. So that was about this Omo Blues Festival. Amazing experience. It was fantastic. 30th year of this festival that became the largest in Sweden. It's amazing. So after that, I just continued oh yeah, in between I had my guitar retreat at the island of Ven, and I met my fantastic guitar colleagues. One of them is here, Geir. And then after that, it was Omo Blues Festival. No, before that. And then after the retreat, I continued to the UK. And I participated in the program that's called Blues Week through European Blues Association, where Michael Roach is a director, and they have this event. They've had it for 20 years. This was also an anniversary, 20 years of the Blues Week. And there's a very nice story about how I ended up there, because they had Louisiana Red during the first year, and then he mentioned me in a conversation with Michael Roach, and then the next year they had Sam Mitchell teaching, and then the year after that, in 2003, when Sammy couldn't do it, he recommended me. So that's how I got into the whole program and started teaching there. So I was there for like 9 consecutive years, and then I made a long break of 10 years. And then this year they called me back for the 20th anniversary. So I don't know if I'm going to come back next year, but it was amazing to meet many of the students that I've met then. So this is an event where a lot of people are coming every year. It's kind of a pilgrimage. It's a fantastic feeling of belonging to this program where everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter your stage of musical knowledge when it comes to guitar playing or singing. And they have, I think, around 10 instructors who come from all over the world and teach various styles. And I taught beginning and intermediate, advanced slide guitar playing in 2 different classes. And that was amazing. So what happened during the Blues Week, and that also triggered this discussion about today's theme, was that quite many of those people who are coming to the Blues Week are also very aspiring musicians. Some of them continued to pursue a real career after being a couple of years as students during the Blues Week. One of the early students, Abby Budgeon, became an instructor and also a performing artist. So it's a fantastic atmosphere there. And we talked about many aspects of musical career and how what's the best practicing routine in order to come to that level where you can really be confident enough to perform. And then, of course, if you're good enough, you're going to start to get paid for what you're doing. And also, we had these late night jams that started around 11 o'clock in the evening, after all students and instructors had their shows that were planned for every evening between like 8 and 11. And then 11 p.m., the jamming starts. So we went to bed between 3 and 4 in the morning. And then, of course, up when it's breakfast and then teaching or learning all days and all that. So it was really exhausting. But it was fantastic because during those very intimate jam sessions, we also got to know each other much better. And then a lot of people were coming closer to each other also when it comes to, okay, what's really stopping me from becoming a musician? Would I leave what I have now in order to start gigging and travel much more than I'm doing now? And it was like 50-50. Some people said, man, I'd leave everything. If I could play like you or these other instructors, I'll be on my way, man. I wouldn't do anything else. And that's fantastic. And some other people said, no. I'd never trade my life for that. I just want to learn how to play better. So that was also a kind of a proof for me that I'm, well, I don't need anybody's approval to know that I'm on a right path or if I'm not on a right path. It's because if you end up seeking for others' approval for your own things that you're doing, then you'll never be satisfied. You will never achieve what everybody will approve, and everybody will say, oh, that's fantastic, just do it. No, the choices that you make, that I make, need to feel good inside, within. And as long as I don't feel deprived for something that maybe a life on the road would give me, or not playing at all, it just being here locally and playing for myself, maybe a couple of friends, and maybe doing these live streams, not fully, but right now I have this very nice balance, and that's the finishing point of this theme today, is that I realize that I really feel confident in what I'm doing now, because the performing side has been satisfied with these maybe 10 gigs altogether during the summer. And then the teaching aspect that I really also love doing was fulfilled by first my guitar retreat that I organized myself, and then during the Blues Week. So I had lots of great vibrations from those two. And then now I'm going back to the work that I'm doing, right? And the family stuff and all that. So I kind of, on the way back from the UK, when I did my last gig, and then I did some visits in London, then I was on the flight back and said, yeah, I feel good with the way it is right now. I really like it. So I'll leave it there for the moment, and then now we're going to go to the lick of the week. Let me see. Should I do this with metal or this one? Right. So this is going to be in open D. On your screens, close to open D. The note D is on the bass, and then fifth string is also A, and then the fourth string is D. Then you have F sharp on the third string, and A on the second string, and the first treble string is D. So that's what we got here. Let's just be more strategic for a second and grab the whole hand. Yeah, we got it. That's it. Nope. It's got to be perfect. So I need to find the right angle. Yeah, we got it now. So the lick of the week today is actually the melody of the song River of Jordan that Blind Willie McTell sings. And the song goes, I'm going there, that river of Jordan. I'm going there for myself. Nobody else can be there for me. I'm gonna go there for myself. verses go, I'm gonna meet my dear old mother. I'm gonna meet her for myself. So that's the groove of the song. And then Blind Willie McTell plays this slide melody that goes like this. This is the lick of the week. It's a fantastic combination of a melody traveling all the way up to the 12th fret, where he plays this. So let me just explain this part first. So this is like a 12th, 10th fret on the first string, and then 12th, 10th on the second string as well. And then I'm gliding from the 11th fret on the third string to the 12th fret, and then just meet my fourth string also on the 12th fret. And this is kind of by the book. It's like a... But if you really want to make it bluesy, then we don't really go to the 10th fret. So we go in between 10th and 11th. So we get the whole lick together, and the melody sound like this. Slowly here. And this is very important to master this groove that goes, I mean, the groove is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, do 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 do, and that's how I usually practice my melodies, licks, whatever I want to learn. I kind of loop it in the same groove as the song goes. I just play it very slowly. So this lick would go like this. So if you're noticing that I'm dampening my strings with my left, with the fretting hand, after I've picked those notes, so I kind of dampen them, and then I play the bass, then I play the chord, and after that, immediately I'll dampen it again. So you get this. So there's a lot of this. This can be practiced by itself. Only this bass, dampen, chord, dampen. So the whole melody of this lick goes like this. Just the fourth chord that I either play like, because the song tells about longing to meet those people, and this note kind of travels to this. So the feeling in the song is expressed by this vibrato and this, and also if you play it faster, it's gonna be kind of more expressive, but maybe not so suitable when it comes to the theme of the song. So let's do the whole lick. And then we have this. So it's on the between 3rd and 4th fret on the 1st string. In order to keep it rolling in the groove of the song, right? So it's. And then. Or. It can be a little bit more bluesy. Compared to a little bit more major chord. Right. And then. I've shown this way of playing the main root note, not on the 1st string as open, because you cannot vibrate that note. I reach it on the 2nd string on the 5th fret, but then I would dampen the 1st string and then just pick the 2nd string. At the same time, I'm also dampening the 3rd string with my fretting hand here, so you only hear this note played. So there's this in the end of the melody of this lick. So let me do the whole thing again. This is a very nice kind of melody. I'm not sure this is exactly how Blind Willie McTell did it, but I've played this song for many years, so maybe I just kind of threw in some of my own melody lines, but it's like a... So I go from the 4th fret to the 7th and... And there's also one very, very nice lick that I've heard Blind Willie doing, and that it's when it comes to and then now. So this is this note together with a D. It sounds so beautiful together. And there's also this aspect of Blind Willie playing this on a low-tuned guitar that was also in open D. And it's... Wait, I think I have my baritone guitar in open D lower. Let me just see. Right. Now I'm taking a big risk, but if it works, it's going to be wonderful. Because we might just fly into Blind Willie McTell's world for a second. Yes, it is. It is in the right tuning. Oh yeah. So the same melody, same lick as I played on the metal guitar gets the whole new dimension when it's even lower tuned, because compared to the D open, this is C. Sometimes I would even go lower on this guitar, maybe to the B on the 1st string, or even A, and that's really, really low. But let's do this melody with Rura Jordan. That sounds beautiful. It's great. Right. So let's see if there are any questions you might have. I kind of just went on talking, but not too much is happening in the chat. So I guess I either bored you out with my talking about today's theme, or everything is crystal clear. That'll be wonderful. But yeah, anyway, thanks so much for coming today. We are off to the races for the rest of the fall, and I'm going to be doing these weekly live streams. I'm negotiating with a very good friend of mine, Rick Franklin from the States, who is going to be my guest in one of the coming live streams, maybe even next Monday. We'll see. And he's a fantastic interpreter of Piedmont picking and old-timey music. He's a great storyteller, and I really look up to him. He's a fantastic artist, and I really love him. A dear friend of mine. So, okay, right. In this emotional moment, when I was talking about Rick, G. Albert comes in, clear as mud. All right. Great. Thank you. Well, thank you for staying so long. And this week, it's 10:03, which is maybe my record that I really kept this within 1 hour, basically. So thanks so much for coming. And I hope you'll be joining me next Monday, 9 p.m. CEST or 3 p.m. EST. So thanks for coming, and I'll see you next week.
And it wasn't spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, thought she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, thought I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top